Welcome back. If you own a small business or are about to start one, our expert panel of entrepreneurs is here to help. Joining us today, we have Timothy Reese, founding partner of the National Minority Angel Network, Brenda Braxton, owner of BBraxton, a gentleman's grooming parlor in Harlem, New York, and Hajj Flemings, CEO, personal brand strategist. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Tim, let's start with you. You are every small business owner's or small business owner wannabe's dream person, because you actually invest in small businesses.
Yes.
What are the hot areas right now? What types of businesses are you looking to invest in?
We look at high growth businesses, and a high growth business is a business that is not going to stay in the realm of 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, but can potentially grow to several million dollars.
And where would those businesses most likely be?
Well, I think tech, but I think that, you can have a business that's in the food service space and it could be growing very rapidly and you need expansion capital. What we look at is your income. So if you're at the end of the year, your income is growing 50% from one year to the next, those are great candidates that look at and say, this is a potential company that we consider high growth.
Brenda, I know you transitioned from actress to entrepreneur. How do you know when it's time to make a transition for those who are looking to do that?
I'm an older actress now, so that's almost the natural progression, unfortunately, of the business that I was in. And I saw that I was getting less and less parts, because you've got the young girls now, out there. And I decided, okay, I need to find something else that I love as much as theater. And it kind of fell in my lap, an article that I read about men's grooming. So I started thinking about it, did my research, and realized there wasn't really any upscale gentlemen's grooming parlors in New York or really in any other city. And I said this would be a good fit.
Hajj, you're in the tech industry, and as African Americans, we're minorities everywhere, but in the tech industry, really, you're like a super minority, right? Is it your sense that it is easier, going back to what Tim was saying, to start a tech company, to keep a tech company going, or are you dealing with all the same basic problems any business owner would?
Well, I think that the tech space is a very sexy space to be in, right? So lots of times people want to get into those, into that particular industry, but at the end of the day, we have to become great storytellers, because you have to be able to tell that story in 3D, in person, in print, and face-to-face. You have to be able to tell it across multiple platforms. You have to be clear, concise, and compelling in being able to communicate that business idea so that people want to invest in you, so that customers want to connect and use your product or services. And then at the end of the day, brands are nothing more than stories.
We are still in a tight, tough economy. Is it, you think, easier, harder to start a business in this economy, sustain a business in this economy?
What is unprecedented, without question, is the advancement of computerized technology has dramatically lowered the cost for starting a business, in particular a tech business, or anything that's social media or web.
Brenda, in this economy, you launched a business, saw the business really take a nosedive, brought the business back, and are now about to expand the business. Just, can you tell us that story quickly and how you moved with that transition?
Story was opened in 2006. Everything was hunky-dory, everything was good. And due to personal problems and the economy, both had equal merit. I ended up having to make the hard decision of, okay, I need to rethink this. And I closed the business down for a year so that I can revamp, reshape, rebound, and come back. And that's what I did.
Now, to each of you, just before we wrap, if you could go back to when you first started your own business, what are the one or two things you wish someone had told you? Hajj, let's start with you.
Okay. In real estate, we traditionally hear a phrase, and it's called location, location, location. And so I like to shift the paradigm to think about, how do you think about that from a brand footprint? I didn't totally think about that when I first got started, but when I think about those three words, it goes back to mental real estate, establishing myself in the mind of my end customer. So thinking about mind share, so I become the only solution. The second location becomes a digital footprint. How do I create a meaningful digital footprint so that people can find me? And the third is geographical location. How do I become the thought leader in the state or in the area that I live in, so that I can then build brand awareness and then hopefully be able to scale the business?
Brenda, how about you?
Mine is, I kept faith. You have to have faith. You have to have that whether you believe in God or that other being or whatever it is that gave you that dream and that is going to keep you going with that dream.
Tim?
Yeah, well, I've come to realize that I think it all starts first at your heart. And then also looking at an honest assessment of your strengths and shortcomings will allow you to start processing new information in ways that will help you leverage your business. And those were the things that I know now that I can do that I think will help anyone as they go with business.
Great advice from all of you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Now we're going back to Shannon Lanier in the Expo Hall.
Caroline, now I'm joined by Nadia Quarles from the University of Chicago, and you have a pretty interesting partnership with Black Enterprise to help put small businesses to work. Tell me about that.
Well, yes, we do. And actually, we've been advertising with Black Enterprise for 2 years now, and it's been an extraordinary opportunity for the university to expand our reach within the African American community.
Okay. And what type of vendors are you looking for to help put them to work?
Well, although our primary focus is on professional services, so that could be financial services or money management services, we pretty much look for any type of minority businesses. So it could be from catering services on down.
Anything?
Anything.
Okay, so how can they get a hold of you if they want to win one of those contracts?
Well, they can go to the University of Chicago's website. They can click on the link for the Office of Business Diversity, and they can sign up to be a vendor with the university.
All right, well, thank you for helping put small businesses to work.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Now, before we go to break, let's find out what Sonia has going on the other side of the Expo Hall.
We're here in the Expo Hall to take a look at the latest technology products perfect for the business professional.
Black Enterprise Business Report is sponsored in part by Toyota, moving forward.